So it's a pleasure to be here. So as she said, I'm Luis Gonçalves. I'm coming from Portugal, so thank you so much. So what I'm bringing you today is something very special. I've been working with digital product development now for 20 years, and I want to bring you all these 20 years into this 15 minutes talk to you. So I want to start this talk with a very simple question. If you have a project that was delivered on time, with budget, with quality, is this a good thing or is a bad thing? Good thing. Oh, so many people so shy. Well, once more, good things or bad thing? Good thing. Okay, great. So I have a question. If you have something that is done on time, with budget, with quality, but doesn't serve any of your purpose, would you install it in your phone? I think the question is very simple, right? No. So this is the talk about today. How to change this project mindset to product mindset, okay? So, and why is this so important? It's very important because I have a very strong opinion. If you think about it, we have been developing companies now for the last years in the same exact way as we developed companies 100 years ago. And 100 years ago, the companies were optimized for cost reduction, producing as much as possible for the cheapest amount of the cost, and put it on the market, right? But 100 years ago, or 100 years after, we want to build companies that are optimized for digital, so optimized for speed, put stuff on the market, get feedback, improve it, right? So the way how we do it, the way how we need to build companies are very, very, very different. And I have a very simple question. So I'm now in Saudi for 4 months. I saw more than 50 to 60 startups pitching and selling their ideas, and I did not see one single company with a chief product officer. So why are we building product companies and no one is really talking about product? No one is really focusing about product, okay? So this is something very, very, very important. So, and if we build a company that is with a project mindset, I truly believe that we will have a lot of deliveries without solving really customer problems. And maybe it's coincidence that if I think about it, we have a lot of CTOs, and be careful, I'm not against CTOs because I'm a technical engineer, software engineer by myself. So, but we have a lot of, I said, startups, CEOs and CTOs, but no one thinking about the business problem. So we deliver a lot of things without really solving a lot of problems to the customers. When companies grow, because we have different departments, different bosses, different C-level, we start to lose agility. We start to have a lot of silos. We started to have a lot of dependencies, right? So this is a symptom of the departments. So I worked in Portugal, Germany, Finland, now a little bit in Saudi. It's very interesting. Culture doesn't play at all a problem, right? What is the problem is the organizational design. Why? Because once again, we build companies around projects. We build companies around departments. So all these things, when the company started to grow, you started to have these problems. Traditional budget process. How many of you arrive to, depend on a fiscal year, but how many of you arrive to October, November, and spend 1-2 months filling up Excel sheets to calculate the budget for the next year, right? And then how many of you actually guess more or less how much they spend? And at the end, you don't spend the money, so you buy flowers, sofas, and many other things, like I saw so many things, because you need to spend the money in order to not lose the budget for the next year. Wouldn't you think that this money would be much more well utilized if it would be put it on the right places? Ramp up teams, ramp down teams. If you think about projects, it's very easy more in traditional companies that you have initiative. Okay, let's look around and see who are the right people to do this initiative. You put all the people together, then you develop, and then you ramp down, and then you spend like easily, as I saw in several companies, easily 5 to 6 months just on ramping up, ramping down, getting the requirements up and running, getting the approvals, the approvals up and running. So that's a big waste because you spend a lot of time that you should be developing a product and not so much in governance model. And a lot of the companies, because they think in projects, they deliver a lot of value at the end. No data. How many of you do a project that basically you do all the stuff, you arrive, you deliver something, but you never think about the data. Data that is so important to understand how people use your product so that you can generate new ideas in new ways and new features to bring money to the product, to the public. And of course, a lot of companies seek in these initiatives. There is no innovation. There is no way to put new ideas out. So how can we solve all these issues? During 2020, during COVID, all of us were locked down at home. So I had the time to think a bit, how can we do an approach, how can we have an idea to have this, helping these leaders to change the project mindset to the product mindset, the product-led company. And this is what I came up. I came up with a sustainable and an idea with 5 pillars. Approach. This means how do we approach customers in the digital era, and how do we actually create a digital funnel? Data. How do we collect the data from the customers and utilize it to create really cool new features and new functions for the customers? Agility. P, product. So business model, product strategy, product discovery, and the final one, transformation. Because having a company optimizing for project is very different than having a company optimizing for transformation, for product, and I will explain you. So how are we doing this in Haido Hub? So Haido, for the ones that don't know, it's a really, really cool app that I'm working as an interim CPO that is basically a Uber for tourism. It's really, really cool. So you are a tourist, you come to Saudi, you don't know where to go, so you go to our app, and basically we connect you with local guides to give you fantastic experience to enjoy the best of Saudi. And how did we actually apply these ideas in Haido? So in Haido, we have different streams. So we have hospitality, which basically people in Saudi will come to you, will pick you up, and will cook for you at home, at their home. We have events. So you go and try to get some new events on Saudi, and you book, and someone will pick you up. And we have the tours. So what is the revolution here? The revolution here is we are building our company not around marketing, not around departments from IT, software development, QA, sales, etc. No, we are building the company around these value streams. So if you think about events, it would be a stream, so a completely stream with people that is able to deliver everything for that stream. The hospitality the same, the tours the same. So in the worst or in the best case scenario, you could actually grab those value streams and spin it off as their own startup, their own product with their own revenue model. And with that thing, imagine, if you build all your company like that, you will have a very huge flexibility that as soon as you have new ideas, new streams, you just go and ramp up a new stream and immediately are ready to scale your business. Then, we are making a huge effort to basically, every stream is connected to the big vision of the company. So even if they work like with mini products inside, they are always connected, in this case OKRs, to the big picture, so that everyone understands how they are really going into the same direction. Of course, in order for you to have these value streams, the ones that understand technicality, it's very important to have a really, really great way of doing software development. Because if you have different streams, everyone is touching on the code. That means that you need to have continuous delivery pipelines in place, you need to have automation, you need to have acceptance testing, everything, but in a very, very, very automated way, so that everyone can touch in the code at the same time and not ruin the people's code. So, and even on the team level, we have the possibility, or we help every developer, every person, always connecting with the strategy and the value stream. So it's incredible. You go on the daily basis, you open your daily scrum, you open your task and say, me, I'm working on this story that is aligned with this epic, that is aligned with this OKR, that is aligned with this my company. So I know exactly every single day how I'm contributing to the big picture of my company and helping my company. We are ramping up as well, it's a very important thing, a dashboard with the whole metrics. So we define a product metrics framework where we capture all the metrics that are important for our business, and we track them on the weekly basis to see how the business is doing. One thing that is very different from project is the product discovery part. So what we are trying to implement is we always have a team, ahead, one quarter ahead of the development to really do product discovery, to validate all our crazy ideas. And before we actually spend time from our developers, we already validated ideas with real customers to understand if that is what markets want, so that we don't spend 3 to 6 months actually develop something that we put out on the market and no one wants it. And a very, very, very important one, the way how we capture customers. So you don't know, but in 2020 was my first time here in Saudi. I was working as a consultant in STC Pay. And the funny part how I came here was I wrote an interesting blog post that was captured at that time by the CEO. He just gave me a call, he read the book, and then I ended up. So why I'm saying this? Because we have digital world at our hands to utilize it to actually bring sales for us. How do we actually do this in Haido? Very simple. We are doing research in Germany, big country, France, how people are looking for vacations in Saudi Arabia. So we do blog posts about things that we want people to do in Saudi Arabia. We do white papers, 10 things to visit in Riyadh, 10 things to do, 10 restaurants, and all these white papers call to action for the app. As soon as they download the app, we have them, and then we can utilize their know-how or their existence. And we connect all these pieces with what I call a product digital governance model, which is basically, I can tell you later on more about this, but it's a way that we organize and structure the way so that we can replicate everything, all these streams, in a very systematic way so that we can scale the company without that problem. Okay? When you apply this, you basically have this as an outcome. And so it's a little bit cut, sorry. So governance framework, product market ready, global digital sales funnel, comprehensive data strategy, product discovery framework, implementation of the best practice. So we can use this to build customers that actually, companies that customers actually love. So thank you so much. It was a pleasure. If you want, have it in LinkedIn. This is the link for my book. So if you want, you can download the book and you can have a copy for yourself. So thank you so much for your time and thank you so much for coming to the talk.